welcome to the 42nd episode of Sawdust Nation podcast with myself, Nick, from NPG Creations. We also have with us Mighty Josh from North Country Woodworking, absolutely astonishing AJ from Crafted in NJ.
Yo.
But before we get started today, I want to go ahead and give a thank you to our sponsors, Totalboat, you're always in our heart, Jtechphotonics, you guys make those great lasers, we love ya, and Orca Abrasives. You never come on too strong. You're just that, just a little abrasive though. Anyway, now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about a little bit of what's going on in AJ's shop, since I know he's over there rubbing his forehead, shaking his head about that whole intro.
No, I was shaking my head at what's going on in my shop because, I don't think it ever changes lately, but, still flags, as everybody guessed. But I still have that bench looming in the background that I got to get started on. Once I get through my flag orders, I got cornhole boards that I got to make. Still got to pick up materials for that. And I actually just you guys were joking with me and saying about the spoon I made last week. Well, I just got an order for another spoon, and I think that they're going to be pretty much a big hit at this point, and I'm going to be making spoons now. So I'm transitioning from flags to spoons. Yes, questions?
Well, when I was a kid, my mom had a lot of wooden spoons, and I got to tell you, they were a big hit as well, especially when I stepped out of line. Anyway, what do you got, Josh?
I'm just curious about the bear. There was a bear carving supposed to happen. Now there's spoons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't done with my shop, so I'll transition back in. But real quick, the bear, that's kind of like on the back burner. That's just going to happen whenever it happens, and whenever I decide that I remember to do it. On top of that, the mailbox that I told you guys I was going to build, still going to build that. And now I have to build
someday over the rainbow.
Trust me. I also have to redo my deck as well, so there's going to be a little bit of woodworking involved in that. And one thing I want to
fixing your deck.
Yes, fixing it because I think the deck is like 20 some odd years old, and at this point it is pretty much falling apart. So, but one thing I wanted to mention was, you guys probably remember carbon paper where you could write on top of it, transfers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did
you know that they have white carbon paper? Or
what?
White transfer paper? Yes. And it because I just did a thin red line flag. I had to trace a name on one of the black stripes. Well, using carbon paper isn't really the most ideal thing to do. So I had to use a light to see the trace mark. And I just looked on Amazon. I was like, let me just see if they got white transfer paper. And they do. It looks identical to carbon paper and works amazingly well. So, if you ever have to trace anything on something dark where the carbon paper won't show up, definitely look into the white transfer paper. But that's all for my shop. I'm going to throw it to Josh. What's going on in your shop, buddy?
I did have a question but Josh, I hate to cut you off, man, but so I'm on this Facebook page called, I forget what it's called, something about cornhole boards. It's like everybody shows their cornholes on this page, right? So, AJ, there are actually, you can buy the plywood with the holes pre-cut. Just giving you a heads up, just in case you're having problems with that.
You're telling me I won't know how to drill a cornhole?
Well,
this has got awkward, everybody.
I know I've looked at a lot of people's cornholes, and it doesn't seem that hard to drill that hole anymore. Especially, I'm going to have the CNC drill in the hole, so it's going to be a dead accurate cornhole. I mean, everybody else's is. It's nice and round, and it's perfect.
Well, I think what I'm getting at is it just, you order it, it shows up, it's already good to go. You just put the base and the legs on, so it might take away from some time, especially if you buy. I know it's cheaper to buy the full sheet of plywood, but somebody's making money out there selling those 2x4 sheets with a hole already cut.
I actually got a better option. I'm going to order some cornhole boards already done, and then just mark them up and then resell them. How's that?
There you go. There you go, man.
They take all the guesswork out of it at this point. I don't have to do anything. I'll even ship them right to their house. Done. No, I'm just joking.
It says from Amazon. Of course, we got 2 days shipping here, bro.
Yeah, right. So anyway, yes, I did a lot of cornhole research, and the first search came up a little bit awkward, but then I found where I was at and really searched. So anyway, enough about cornholes. Josh, what's in your shop?
Not cornholes. Let's see. What do we have in the shop? So we have a whole bunch. I've been getting orders in left and right and been trying to catch up a little bit. So going through real quick, I got a growth chart for my kids. I have the wine cabinet I'm working on. I have the name for the baby. I have 2 boxes I have to build, 3 shelves, a display case for Gold Star Family. That's a military thing. A cutting board, basically, someone brought me a butcher block and was like, make this a cutting board. So I got that done. I have 2 military working dog projects. One is a coin recreation, basically blown up and then insert a picture in the mouth. And then a whiskey display for going away. I have 2 other going away gifts that are going to be completed. One is for a U.S. Marshal in New York City, and the other is for a local colonel here on the base, going away here sometime soon. Priced out a whole bunch of other stuff, waiting back from them. Let's see, what else have I got? I'm getting a RZ mask in the mail. I already have one, but they were kind enough to send me another one to try out. So I'm kind of waiting for that. I just ordered a DFM Toolworks mystery box number 4. And that was
nice.
Actually, yeah, got delivered, and it's beautiful. Like, it has everything I wanted in there and more. And then
It's a mystery box?
yeah, so they have small like defects or in them that he doesn't want to sell separately. So he'll put mystery boxes together, and you have to accept that they might have a defect. I couldn't find what he was referring to, but I got a blue Speed Square Mini and a little square that we gave away on the YouTube Live. And it's the Buffalo Bills color. It has the red and the blue in it. And then a couple scrapers and pins for the centering and, obviously his sticker. So, I mean, like, it's a great box. I think I paid $40-50 for it. And
nice.
Normal retail is quite a bit more. So it's a good deal. I was waiting for them to pop up again. I know that he does them here and there. But I did want to also mention Johnny Chaps. Now, AJ, you turned me on to this guy. He owns a store. He does multiple different things. But one of the uses I know him for is turning pictures into vectors. Now, during our journey here, we've gone through different people, and so far, this guy is beyond the best. Asked him to take a patch and turn it into a vector. It was this, he said a couple of days, but later that night, he returned it exactly the way I needed it, clean lines. Pretty much, I dropped it into easel, adjusted some settings for myself, and it's ready to carve. I don't do that very often. I try to do it myself, but there are some things I can't do. This gentleman was able to do it. The price was reasonable, and I definitely will be going back. And if you want to look him up, he's Johnny Chaps on Instagram. Pretty easy to find, and his prices are pretty reasonable as well. But long story short, just been doing a couple things in the shop here and there and trying to knock out some of these projects when I get a chance. With that, Nick, man, what do you have going on in your shop?
Well, before I get to it, I really got one question for you.
Oh, boy.
Or actually more of a comment about the mystery box, but would you think it would be like, I don't know, funny if he was to throw in like a big old thing of aluminum shavings? And
it is a mystery.
And you open it, it is a mystery. I mean, he didn't tell you what you're getting, but it is aluminum. Anyway.
The way he does it, it says a mystery box, but he gives you choices. Like, you could have this, or this. And there's different, 1 through 5, and you can kind of vary what you want. So you kind of have a good idea what you're going to get, but there might be one item that's a little different. It might not be the same color. I was lucky enough to get a blue Speed Square and the Buffalo Bills version of the other square. So it does match for me. And also got some card scrapers as well. I forgot to mention that. His card scrapers are top of the line. So
that's good, man.
About Johnny Chaps, his Instagram is Vector Crowd. So we'll link that into the description. And then his website is also vectorcrowd.com. You can search on Etsy under Johnny Chaps. But we'll put his info. He's a great guy. Gets back to you right away. I mean, I sent him a patch, and literally in an hour he got back to me, asking me a few questions about it, and then really did an amazing job. I told him that literally I'm customer for life. That's it. And then Josh got sent to him, and I know he's going to be using them. So if you need anything, Nick, hit up.
I just like the name. I mean,
Johnny
the
Chaps.
name is like starring Johnny Chaps.
I actually messaged his personal page. That's how I got to him. So my bad for the misinformation. Following him now on his business account, Vector Crowd.
What's going on in my shop? Well, I'm glad you asked because I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've been busy with real work and this thing I do. Been networking a lot down here. Met a lot of nice people. So I had an opportunity this past week, or last weekend actually, to go to the Woodworkers Guild of San Antonio monthly meeting, where myself and another coworker at my current job got to witness a bull turning seminar, which was cool. Took a bunch of pictures, shot the bull with the guys. There's pictures on my Instagram if you want to see some of the things that were going on. But the lot of the gentlemen that were down there were just that. What's up, Josh?
I'm sorry, man. I just got to butt in real quick. That looked like a really fun time. I mean, we just talked about turning the last episode. You got to go actually turn a pen, learn a little bit. That's pretty cool, man.
Well, that wasn't me. That was my buddy Knapp. He's the other woodworker in my current shop. He turned the pen, and he did a fantastic job for. I guess it's his first full pen that he turned, because he has a lathe in his shop, but he was having trouble with it, and they squared him away. So now he's a pen turning fool. But he owns Knapp's Naughty Works in San Antonio. Anyway, so another gentleman that was there, Mr. Donald Starnes, hooked me up with some mesquite wood. He brought a whole bunch of cutoffs in his truck to the meeting, and I got a chance to pick some up and bring it home, and I started working with it immediately. And I never thought mesquite would be as easy to work with as it is, but it turns out great, because there's no like real consistency in the grain because it's all over the place. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing. Smells good too when you're cutting stuff in your shop. And then yeah, man, I've got this what do you call it? Table saw angle gauge I just purchased, or I'm actually about to purchase, but it's going to be on the way here shortly.
The UG Universal Gauge from Bridge City.
Oh, it's from Bridge City, yeah. So Harvey, Bridge City, whatever, they're same, right? I got a laptop stand for the CNC, so this way I don't have to worry about getting sawdust all over the place, which is great. I'm going to keep the sawdust out of the keyboards, And everything else, though, busy making flags, making plaques. I have a shadow box on order. I got another. I got to do box joints on this going away like crate for a person. I've got to do this weight plate, like ones at the gym, 25-pound plate.
Yeah.
I actually have to like carve one out of wood. I think I'm going to use HDU for it though, with a wood backer.
Nice. And
do the it's a going away plaque, but it's supposed to look like a gym plate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, I started using Shippo. Thank goodness.
That good
If
stuff,
you guys
right?
aren't using Shippo, you need. Holy cow!
Yep.
I paid no more than $13 for shipping, and that was for like large boxes. So, and I was going from here to New Jersey, like from San Antonio to New Jersey. So that's quite a ways,
Yep.
So you go to post office, they're going to charge you close to $20 per package, and that's for priority.
Yeah.
And then you don't even know if it's going to make it. So
it's a big risk on that one. It's like you're taking a real big gamble. Here's my money, but are you going to get it there?
maybe, maybe not. We'll We'll let you know. And then you like look at tracking and it says it disappeared. So I actually had, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I had somebody ship me something from Philadelphia to the base up in New Jersey, which is an hour drive. And this guy shipped it to me. It took 2 weeks. They sent it to Kansas City first. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's close, right?
How is that even Missouri?
Yeah, isn't that like right down the street
from Phil? Yeah, you're right. I'm a geographer.
See, you're not understanding the route of Pony Express. They have to go down before they can go up.
Jeez Almighty! It makes as much sense as those jug handles up there in New Jersey. I'm just saying.
Those make a lot of sense. You make a right to make a left. It's all right. Don't worry. But Shippo, we would have never gotten introduced to Shippo if it wasn't for Vincent Ferrari, because he knows a lot about shipping. And then when he sent us that tidbit of information about Shippo, I immediately started using them, and I haven't used anything else other than that.
It's so easy.
It really, really is. And I like that they give you different options with different carriers. Some of them out there that, you use, you don't know who you're getting. You can kind of judge, okay, by the size of it, it's going to go UPS. But they at least give you, okay, you want to go postal or you want to go UPS, which is nice.
I've been really close to be going postal at some point.
We all have.
Eddie,
you were talking.
We got questions, right? Go ahead, man.
No,
I'm sorry.
No. I wasn't saying, oh my gosh, to you. I was literally, a thought came into my head, and I went, I got to mention this, and completely forgot. Oh man, you guys really tripped me up on this. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. Move on to the questions. I'll think about it.
Anyway, Wooden Whiskers gave us an audio message, and we're going to go ahead and play that. Yeah, let's see what he has to say.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Tyler here, Woodenwhiskerstrading Co. So, my question this week for you guys, I'm trying some new stuff lately that I haven't normally done, and along that premise, is there anything you guys have been really putting off or really struggling to start? Kind of like the writer's block, maybe the woodworker's block for a project, or maybe just something for the house. Just curious, maybe we can drive through that together. Thanks, guys.
Nick, do you have anything like that?
So you mean the woodworker blues, huh? Is that what he's referring to, where you just can't seem to get your head in the game to want to work because you just don't have new ideas, you're kind of stale, or you're stuck on something?
Yeah.
Been there, brother. It's just one of them things you kind of got to grind through. I find myself a lot of times not knowing how to do specific things, so I got to go out and figure it out, whether it be through other woodworkers in the community or the YouTubes. But every time I find myself like without a project in the shop, I'm always looking to do something to better the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I haven't been without a project for a while. I mean, like, fortunately, I guess, because I'm making money, but, I haven't been without a project in quite a while since, excluding the move.
Yeah.
Anyway, how about you there? Any of yous?
Any of yous guys.
Yous guys.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, wasn't prepared for that, but, yeah, I get the same thing. Right now with the wine cabinet, I've been him and hawing about that, how I'm going to build it. It seems pretty simple, but, starting it seems pretty difficult. I know I need to get it done. I know that I can't run it from it, but it's one of those things where I really have to just go in there, start cutting the pieces and start getting it together. And once I start doing that, I can start figuring it out as I go like I normally do. But it's a tall order. It's a tall cabinet. And I really don't want to mess this up. And yeah, I'm going to be painting it this like olive green. It's last time I painted something that was that large, I had a lot of issues with it, and it didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to. And it's just, I don't know, there's some wiring involved. There's a lot of different things into this project. And it's not that I am pausing because of, I don't want to complete it. I'm pausing because it's a little different from my normal. And if it was just a box, I'm saying the normal wine cabinet, whatever, I could knock that out. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. So I keep bringing it up. I just need to, go in the shop and do it. But on top of that, I have all these other orders. So what I normally do is I go in the shop and I'll start on trying to get everything prepped so the CNC can carve while I'm doing the wine cabinet. And what happens is something will pop up in the house or work or whatever, and I'll pop back in the house, and then the day goes by and I didn't start the wine cabinet. So I got to go out there with the mindset of just doing the wine cabinet and nothing else just to get it started. And once I get that ball rolling, I know I'll follow through. But it just seems like lately I've been getting messages left and right for projects, and it's not, I have literally customers that have ordered. I'm working on their order and they've already messaged me for their next order asking if I can do it. So business is good. It's just, AJ, you feel me. I know Nick feels me on this.
I feel you, bro.
I feel that you feel me.
We're having a giant feel fest up here.
Down there? Would we just meet?
Sure.
Would we meet in the middle somewhere?
What's that like? I don't know. Tennessee?
That's what I was about to say. It was Tennessee. Yeah, I could. I mean, I could you were done.
Yeah, I was trying to toss it off.
Do you got a sentence?
I'm trying to toss it off, and now we're talking about how we're going to meet in the middle and cuddle and all this other stuff.
Well, you could.
Well, you start walking my way.
I'll start walking
or
yours.
I'll start walking. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I could definitely relate to the writer's block or woodworker's block because of that bench. It's not that difficult. I already drew it out. The only problem is now I'm swamped with orders that I'm behind on. And it's just a lot of little things that I got to get done. So even right before this, I was lucky enough that I had enough time to get a flag with the lettering painted onto it. And so that's one project that's, in the bag and I don't have to worry about it. But it just seems like I don't have enough time to do everything that I want. And then I look at the big project and go, I'm going to put that off for right now because it's larger than, what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to start it right now because I have tons of other stuff. So it's almost like I make excuses for it, which can be avoided, but it's like I'm comfortable making flags. So that's what I'm going to venture to is my comfort zone. And also if I'm on a project where maybe I'm, overthinking it or I can't get started, I'll do something small. I'll do something shop related or like the other night, last Tuesday, actually, before we recorded, I did that spoon. I didn't want to get into anything big. I just wanted to do something small. And then everything else kind of fell into place. So, that's how you can kind of get over, woodworker's block by doing something small that's not your norm. And maybe while you're doing it, you even go, oh, I know how to now make, X, Y, and Z and do it that way. So with that, that's my answer. Short, sweet, and to the point, right?
Preach.
So
Preach, brother.
with that, we're going to go on to the next question.
Another question we got in from Plattevalleywoodworks was...
Hey guys, it's Greg with Plattevalleywoodworks. I am sending you this message because I have a question. So I'm getting ready to start building a outfeed table / workbench / assembly table, and I am curious as to your recommendations for size for one. Obviously, I know the height. I need it to be the height of my table saw, but length and width, and also your suggestions on top for the top of it. I was thinking about just piecing together some boards for it, but I've seen several videos where people have used multiple layers of plywood on it. I know it's something you guys have kind of tossed around before, but just curious as to your thought process on it and whether you guys would go with joining some boards together for a solider base, or if you think going with 3 to 4 layers of 3/4 inch plywood would be maybe the best bet for a flat surface. Just your thoughts. I'm going to try and use my hand at SketchUp. Not sure I'll do a very good job, but I'm going to try it anyway. So let me know what you guys think, and love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you, and have a great day.
AJ.
Wow. Yeah, AJ.
So I would make my top out of concrete, and then I would use some 2x4s ripped down the center for the legs, and a lot of hopes.
And dreams.
I can't use a lot of
Praying a
2x4s
lot.
because they're too expensive right now, so I got to really skimp on it.
Well, that's why you cut them in half, right?
crazy?
I mean,
Yeah, you get 2 out of 1.
Concrete's cheaper than 2x4s.
You know
you're
what?
probably not wrong either.
Make a solid bench, floor to the top, just out of concrete. Just one concrete whole box. Not even a box. Don't keep it hollow. Just keep it solid. No, I'm just joking. If I was to redo my bench, I would, for the top, I would at least do a sacrificial layer that I can remove. So
Sacrifice.
yes, I want to. So anyway, I had nothing.
Yeah, let's not go down that, please.
What I would do is I would try to make a torsion box so I know it was dead flat. Then on top of that, I would put a piece of 3/4 ply, and then on top of that, I would do either a piece of melamine or there's another one. What was it? You got melamine, right, Nick? That whole stack.
I got a whole bunch of melamine. Yeah, but you could also use Formica as well.
Yes. I thought there was one other that was a little bit maybe tougher than the melamine. HD.
You can use MDF and then lacquer it, and then that'll take care of it being, that'll make it really hard and stiff. And you could actually still put like T-tracks and stuff in it. And I used that for my old miter station. It worked great.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that. That's pretty damn good.
But you have to lacquer it though, because every time afterward, if you set a drink on MDF, it'll just like
Absorb
suck
it.
up the water and.
So I would say I would do it with at least, like I said, a sacrificial layer on top, a sturdy base.
Sacrifice.
The only thing is if you make it out of, I've seen people do it out of like 2x6s on edge, then what could happen is they could swell, shrink, and then your top could become wonky, and then you'd have to resurface it and to get it flat again. I think your best bet would be to do, like Nick was saying, some ply with the MDF on top of it. You're going to get the structure. You could even, if you wanted to, you could do ply, MDF, and then another piece of ply. That sucker ain't going anywhere. One, you'll have the.
Why would you sandwich MDF?
Why not?
I don't know why you would.
I heard it's tasty. So is MDF a
Little
sandwich?
chalky. No, it's not a sandwich.
Well, anyway,
It's not a cereal either, or a soup.
so with that, I mean, these were my ideas. I'm getting shot down, so I'm going to throw it to Nick. Nick, how would you make your ultimate workbench that's ultimate and workbenchy?
All right, so check it out. I've got
Check,
two
check.
different versions of an ultimate work. Check out the melody. Two different versions.
Let me write down.
I want to have. Ultimately, I would love to build a Roubo workbench, but that's just not in the budget because it's all hardwood. You know what I mean? But that's more of like a traditional style workbench. I believe for this particular question, I would vector towards an outfeed table if I had enough room, I'd do a 4x8, like full 4x8 outfeed table with T-tracks in it with the melamine top. I would have plenty of storage underneath where I can keep all my goodies. And I actually saw Veteran Woodco had he made his own outfeed table, and if you look at his Instagram, there's pictures of it. But he sent me the plans to it. It's a free download. I'm trying to find his messages right now where he sent me the free download, and I could tell you the exact website. But it's a gorgeous outfeed table. Pretty expensive, though, because it takes like 5 or 6 full sheets of 3/4-inch plywood and 2x4s and the melamine and T-track. So, and then casters as well, because you're looking at building, making it movable. But if you want, Josh, go ahead and take the question, and I'll go ahead and look to see what the website was, and you can look up the plans. They're free.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm actually going to be building an outfeed table for my table saw setup that I just got. I currently have the movable bench that I had my old D-wall table saw in. So I am right there with you, man. I am trying to figure out what I want to do with that. For me, it has to have multiple purposes, and it's not going to be stationary like most of them normally are. I'm going to have wheels on it. So, I've been looking at different designs and what I want to do, and what it comes down to is you got to build it to what you want. So, you're probably in one location. You're probably not going to be moving like Nick and I have to here and there. So, it's probably going to be stationary. So, you could build it pretty sturdy, and you're going to want it a little heavier, because if it's going to be, you do it all bench, including the Outfeed table, you kind of want it a little heavier. Personally, I would definitely do the plywood and MDF and then black melamine on top. That way you can have a very sturdy bench. It's going to take blows just fine. It's going to be, again, sturdy. It's going to be heavy as well. And if you do the melamine on top, if you do a thin layer, I'm not sure exactly if it comes in anything other than 3/4. Any of you guys back me up on that?
I have 3/4 inch, but I can't be certain.
I'm assuming they do, and if they don't, you can always just replace the 3/4 inch melamine on top whenever it goes bad, and then you move on. A torsion box definitely would work just as well, and probably your best bet for keeping it level and straight, depending on exactly what you want to use that bench for. But if it's a multi-purpose, you're going to be beating on it. You're going to be assembling. If it's going to be multi-purpose, you're going to need a multi-purpose built bench that's going to withstand all that work.
So check it out. I'm on the website now. It's learn.craigtool.com. And if you search assembly table, you'll see it. It's gorgeous, and it's by C. Reeves Makes. So if you give it a look, I'm sure if you need to like edit it for size or whatnot, you can. But the total thing is absolutely gorgeous. It's got drawers on the bottom. It's got storage right underneath the surface as well, like your work surface, so you can keep like clamps or whatever. And it's also got spot on the end where you can hang tools. We can throw it up on the. I'll shoot you the URL.
Should I give it a look or a look-see?
A look-see.
Give it a look-see.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
AJ, you want me to send it to you so you can put it on the?
Yeah, I'll put it on the mentions.
On the thingamajig.
And the other top, they do make 1/4 inch melamine, and the other top material that I was thinking of was HDPE. HPDE. Let me see. I just had it up here. Yeah, HDPE. I heard it's a little bit stronger. I think it's full like plastic. So
yeah,
they were saying that even if you cut into it or something like that, you don't have any of that wood like you do with the melamine, because with the press board. But I was looking into it, and I know it's a little more expensive than the melamine. But, if you want to make it last, then I guess you can go with the HDPE or just change out some melamine sheets. And they, like I said, they do make it in 1/4 inch. But with that, I think we. I
figured they would make it different.
That. Yes.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
You guys are both talking at the same time.
No, we never do that.
Ever. It's not a thing.
Ever. Next question.
Next question.
Okay. So we got another question that got sent in by Brush Fires of Freedom Workshop. And his question for this week was, how are you all creating your artwork for your social media logos, stickers, and other swag? And I am going to, as I see Josh's sticker, I'm going to ask him as he's drinking water. No, I'm just joking. Nick, how did you come up with your logo?
So the most laziest way possible, which was I went to the branding iron website, which was what branding iron do I have here? It's Gearheartindustry.
Okay.
Went to their website, went to look at building my own SVG for it. They had fonts and stuff already loaded in, so you could like toggle through them. Well, like the first font I saw, I typed my logo in there. I was like, Eureka. So that was it, man. Sign it, seal it, send it. And now it's my logo.
Nice.
So sometimes when it's right, it's right.
That's good.
How about you, Josh?
Oh, I think AJ wanted that one. But
no. I want to go last.
Long story short, I drew mine up. I had a design going. Had some early ish designs. Basically, when I was on deployment, I was doing this because I was setting up my Instagram. In fact, I think if you scroll over my Instagram, there might be an early design there. But anywho, it came with the 3 trees because I grew up in the North Country of upstate New York. At the time, I had 3 members in the family, and it just fit. I wanted simplicity. I wanted something so when I'm watching someone's stories or, after a sticker swap or something, it's instantly recognizable. It's simple enough, black and white, where, no matter where it is in the shop, if it's in the background, you can spot it. And plus, easy to brand. Yeah, that's about it. Obviously, it has meaning in there, and additionally, it represents me, my life at some point in time. Hey, Jay, go ahead.
Story. All right, so strap in, kids, and come along. Bless you. Jesus blesses you.
Oh,
strap in for this one. So with that, my logo changed midway during my career on Instagram because I don't want to really go into too much detail and without sobbing.
Do it.
But the first logo was designed by a friend, and they designed it, and pretty much after a while they came back and said that now I owe them a boatload of money and it's fringing upon their legality. It was a whole back and forth thing. Pricing came out of nowhere. We made it very clear. My wife and I made it very clear to this person what we were going to be using the logo for, and how we were going to be using it on on my page. And it was, I guess, just too much. And then I between you and me and everybody listening, I believe that somebody got in their ear and said, you can be making a lot of money off of this. So long story short, that logo got taken down. And then I was in a scramble to get something else made. I really like wolves, so I wanted to keep the wolf. And I went to a company. I don't remember their name. If I find out, I'll let you know to steer clear of them. Because this company was a logo brand, a logo company, and what happened was I messaged them. They had a website, filled everything out. They contacted me via phone, and we went over the details. They came back a couple days later, if not a day, with a new logo. Great logo. I loved it. And I said, yes, do it. And their pricing on their website was perfect. It explained everything you get to do with that logo. So I went, perfect. It's exactly what I need. I don't need it copyrighted because I really don't care if somebody steals it. I don't care if somebody, takes the coloring, because that was one of their biggest things. Get it copyrighted because if somebody steals the color orange, really? It's a color orange. Oranges do it every day. Should I sue them? I don't think so.
Yep, absolutely. Go for it.
I think so. We should cancel oranges. So with that, I got this all said and done. And a little bit later, they contacted me and said, let's copyright it. Fought them with it. I said, I don't want to copyright it. And it was like $600. Told them I can't do it. I'm not doing it. And then they came back and said, okay, we'll discount it to $300. I think a copyright is a copyright. It's not like you can just discount a copyright. So
you can when you overprice it.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
That's true. That is true.
So with that, then they pretty much pressured me into getting it. So I said, fine, I'm going to spend the $300. It'll be copyrighted. I won't have to worry about it. And months went by. They never sent anything. COVID hit. And then next thing I know, they're using that as an excuse that no one's in the office. All this back and forth, back and forth. I don't remember how many months went by. I finally got the paperwork. Everything was spelt wrong. My name was spelt wrong. My address was completely wrong. I disputed it with my credit card company, and I actually got it all back because I had all emails from them stating all these lies. Finally, I paid for my logo. My logo is my logo. The only thing is it's not copywritten. But I paid exactly what I wanted, and they delivered on that. I will give it to them. But then they tried scamming you for extra money. And then they're like, oh, well, we can't refund you. We're going to give you a website. I don't want a website. I want my money back. You're not fulfilling what you said. So long story short, I've been going through logo issues since day one. And it's not fun having to change your logo because people are used to seeing that logo. that's kind of why I wanted to stick with the wolf, because I know people knew, okay, it was a wolf before and now it's still a wolf. So maybe it's the same guy, same name, it's still in there. But yeah, I can go into a lot more detail, but long story short, definitely find somebody who's reputable. And the sad part is I was recommended to this company by another maker because they had a great experience with them. And so I went, what could go wrong? Another maker used them, so why not? I would honestly hunt around if you're going to, look for getting something designed up or whatnot. Find somebody who is very reputable. And don't go to Josh. He's pointing to himself, but no, go to Josh. He can make you up the sickest logo that you will ever want to see, and it's outstanding, as Nick would say.
But it's $600.
But he can discount
prices
it
went
today.
Up since COVID. It's $1,000
today. Only is 75% off right now.
No.
Actually,
Well, wait a minute. We really need your business, so $600. Okay, $300.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next question.
go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, that's all you.
I don't have it. I don't have it.
Come on, you got it.
You never sent it to me.
So we had Trails Custom Woodworks right in. He's asking about scars. Like Lion King scar. Meow. Do you have any scars or injuries from woodworking? Nick, is that what happened to your face?
Yes. So every night when I go inside, my wife's always like, you spend too much time in the shop. And then I get the frying pan right across the face. No, to be honest, I have plenty of scars from doing stupid stuff. But more notably, we're going to touch on this a little later, sharpening. But I sharpened my wood chisels to a razor sharp point, and I accidentally ran my finger across the edge of one once, and it was bleeding like a stuck pig. I didn't even know I cut myself at first because it was so sharp. It just felt like I scratched myself, and that was it. And yeah, that's my scar right there on the old pointer finger. What about you guys?
Well, I mean, when I was doing my very first flag with a cut-saw disc, very first time using the cut-saw disc, I didn't have the guard on it, on the grinder, so I like to choke up on the angle grinder itself, and next thing I know, I'm like, why is there some red stain? Well, it was my knuckle that was bleeding pretty bad because it just zipped right through the glove, and I'm lucky that the glove didn't get caught and twist my hand, but it went right through the glove, right through my skin, and and no one was home. So Kim was at work, and I called her and sent her a picture, and she's like, yeah, no problem. It looks fine. When she got home, she's like, that's pretty deep. You should have went and got stitches. So we're just going to wait it out at this point.
Thank you, doctor.
We're just going to put some Neosporin on it and call it a day. So,
Star-Bond adhesives would have been great for that. You could fill it right in.
Oh, could you imagine that activator, how bad that would burn?
Oh, man.
Do you ever see, when the Star-Bond bubbles a little bit? I wonder how it would be bubbling within the wound. No, thank you. Wow, I just shut this show down. Both these. Whatever. I'm quitting.
Josh?
Oh, he's done?
Yep, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I fell asleep, sorry.
You fell asleep? You were like sawing or something or what?
No, hands are going to get it when you're woodworking. I mean, between every sliver you get and every nick and, skin yourself on a nail or
that's right.
You name it.
Every nick.
I have so much to say to that. We're going to move on though. But long story short, yeah, I have scars. My hands get it. I was a prior aircraft maintainer, so I got scars there. And then just ran into woodworking and continue on adding to them. It seems like almost every time I'm in the shop, I'll get a nick or something. But it's nick is ever present in my shop.
That's right, buddy. Always there.
So with that,
always there to bother you.
I think that's it for the questions. I believe we do have a topic this week, and it's going to be sharpening. And now with
swing, swing.
Now with Nick's wonderful story about how he ran his finger across a known sharp object, let's go to him.
Oh, well, thank you. So starting off with my error of judgment, I wasn't always that good at sharpening, and I can tell you that I do not sharpen with a stone anymore. I mean, I do, but it's in a different form. It's a wheel. So I use the Tormek T8. I ponied up and got the Tormek because of all of the reviews I read about it. And now I can, with all the jigs that you can get for it, you can sharpen whatever it is you want. And it's just a fantastic tool. And it gives my mirror-like finishes. I don't have to ever worry about sharpening at an odd angle, because the way the jigs are set up and the angle gauge that comes with the machine is set up, you're never going to run into that issue. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
But I've looked them up before too, so I mean, I have some prior knowledge on it.
So I know we were talking about so Tormek has a bunch of competitors out there.
Yep.
I know Wen makes one, a little Wenjin that could, and they make Triton makes one. I think there's a handful of other companies that make knockoff versions of the T8, but I can't really speak to those and the quality, but I can definitely vouch for the Tormek. It's amazing.
How much does that usually go for?
A little over $7.99.
So yeah, AJ, how do you sharpen your chisels and planes and knives and whatever else you sharpen?
The way I sharpen my chisels is I go to Lowe's and I just buy a new set. And so I just have 30 sets of them. No, my chisels I've never sharpened. I bought them new. They were just cobalts, but I thought I was going to just sharpen them one day. And of course I just never did. I don't use chisels a lot. I will be coming up for a few projects, but I learned a lot about sharpening from Pete over at Ptreesworkshop. I was having issues with a blade that I was trying to sharpen, and he showed me, how to correct it. It was out of square. He got it back to square, and then showed me his little setup that he's got. So pretty much I'm using the same thing he is, a piece of granite, and you double side tape some wet dry sandpaper to it and go through the grits. I got 4 of them set up so I can just keep going from one to the next. When they get used up, rip it off, put a new one on, and you're set to go. So
is that the Scary Sharp platform?
It's the Scary Megshift Sharp.
Oh, well, it's the same thing though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing.
So that's how I sharpen.
How do you keep your angles?
It's with that honing guide that you have with the little roller on it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then Pete also makes 3D printed angle finders to find out which blade angle you have, and then you can set your honing guide to that.
He sells them on Etsy?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So he has.
I'll have to go look.
He has plain ones and chisel ones for both. So they work out really well. You set it up, you find it real quick, and then you can use it as a gauge if it's in between. Like the one plain blade that I had was in between 2 angles. So he kept on sharpening it a little bit and got it to a perfect, I forget what degree it was, but I mean, it matched up where you couldn't even see any light between it. So that's how I would sharpen. Josh?
If you sharpen.
I don't use planes enough. I want to, but I just never do. I got them, I got them at the same time I got the ones that you have, And
yeah.
I literally put them up there to say, hey, I'm a real woodworker. I'm a real woodworker.
I'm a real boy.
So anyway, how do you sharpen?
So I've tried different ways. Early on, I went and bought I don't think they're true diamond stones. But I went and got those, and I've tried to sharpen a couple times here and there, and they get sharp, but they're not scary sharp. So I did some more research, talked to Pete from Ptreesworkshop, and talked to you, AJ, about it a couple times. And what I came down to is the Scary Sharp system that Nick brought up. And it's basically, you can go online and it's wet dry sandpaper. I do believe it has adhesive backing already, so you don't have to use double-sided sticky tape. And then with it, in the package I got, it actually gave you some flat glass panels that you can use. I do have a granite that I can use in the shop that from prior sharpening systems I had. And then I got the little gauges from Pete as well. I bought those off his Etsy. And, when I get the time, I go out there and I use that platform to sharpen, and I get some good results. I do have some planes that AJ was referring to when, again, during COVID, he went to a market, and I was not going to markets at the time. and he found some planes that I wanted, and he picked them up for me. And now they came sharp. I will say they came sharp enough to use, but they're not at 90 degrees, and they need to be worked on a little bit more. So I have used them, but they definitely need to be tuned up a lot more than what they are currently. So, but the first planes that I got were from actually Lowe's, the Cobalt planes. And it's I think the number 4, and then a block plane, and then the little thumb plane as well. And they need a lot of work, but they'll be fine once I get them, straight and sanded and sharpened. It's just a matter of time. And in the marketplace, I've been looking in the market for a number 4 and a number 7 right now. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm always on the lookout for those, and so I can go ahead and complete my collection, get them all sharpened and ready to go. But yeah, there's 100 different ways to go out there and sharpen your stuff. There is. There's so many platforms you can just start researching, go down a rabbit hole in, and people have made it art of sharpening. I mean, like, honestly, I do like, it might be, some people might think it's cheating, but Nick's platform, even though it costs an arm and half a leg, I think it's the best because
Look,
go ahead.
I only bought it because William Douglas had it, and if William Douglas has it, then it's worth it. I'm just saying.
That is true.
I swear I just saw little hearts come up too.
Yep.
But long story short, I want a platform. I'm always looking for a better platform, and I want something I can go in the shop. I can go through and sharpen all my stuff real quick and be done with it. I don't have time a lot of time to go and do a lot of shop stuff. I have so many projects I'm trying to catch up on and trying to complete. So I don't have the luxury of going in the shop and being like, hey, I'm going to sharpen just today and walk out. Yeah, that's my my sharpening.
Quick question for you both.
Quick answer.
So when you say you got a table saw blade or you got your router bits and they're going dull, do you A, send them to get sharpened, or B, throw them away and buy new ones?
Depends on the blade.
Let's say it's your fine tooth rip blade
And
for the table
okay,
saw.
so yeah, you could definitely get a couple sharpenings out of. I haven't come across this yet, but I know that.
I'm sorry, not fine tooth. I meant glue line rip
I know
blade.
what you meant, man.
Fine tooth. Yeah.
I haven't come across this yet because I haven't shelled out the money for any of the good blades. But I know for a fact that you can go and have them sharpened a couple times before you buy a new one. And it's worth the money because, I mean, like it says spending $60 to $80 to $100, depending what blade you get. You're going to spend, and don't quote me because the prices might have changed, but I think it's like $20 to get it sharpened. Could be more, could be less, but it's definitely worth the price.
AJ, what do you think?
I would do the same. I mean, I got a pretty expensive blade, so I know there's a ton of carbide on it, so I would just have it sent out and sharpened. And actually, Pete's mentioned it a few times to me, that there's a place not far from where I work, so that they sharpen them. So I would send it out. The only thing is, if I sent it out now, I wouldn't have another blade because I keep slacking on buying an extra one just so I have it, just in that rare case.
So what about your router bits?
Router bits, if they're cheap, I'll throw them out and just get new ones.
Yeah.
I can't think of a
If
router
they're like-
bit that I would keep and then have resharpened.
If there was like the skill router bits, definitely. But if I'm buying like, no offense to skill, they're great router bits if you just need something to get you by.
Hey,
But
Harbor Freight sells Forstner bits that are pre-dulled. You have to sharpen them before you use them. And I found that
they
out.
charge extra for that.
They do. They
charge
say
it
pre-warned.
Pre-dulling.
Pre-war.
But I know there's a place up in New Jersey. I did some research on getting my router bits sharpened. I got my straight bits. I sent off to, like, you put them in a little baggie or whatnot and send them out, and then they'll sharpen them and send them back. And it's only like $2-3 a bit,
Wow.
depending on how small it is. Yeah, and then like obviously the bigger, more elaborate bits, it'll cost more. But I mean, you just kind of got to worry about, is the diameter going to be the same once you get it back if you're taking off parts of the blade. But at that point, CNC work is, the stuff I'm doing is not relying on being that that accurate, you know?
So, I mean, how much is a bit? Let's just say today you had to send out a bit to go get sharpened. How much would that bit cost you if you were to buy it brand new?
So like when I first started, I bought a bunch of Bosch bits.
Mm-hmm.
Bought a bunch of Bosch bits. So after I bought a bunch of Bosch bits, I realized that they were going dull because those are the only ones I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out and bought a bunch more Bosch bits because, hey, I needed a sharp router bit. And after a while, it got expensive. So I started looking into resharpening. I just Googled it and called the company. They said, depending on which bit, $2-3 or more, a little more, a little less, depending. And we'll send them. You send them to us. We'll send them back within like a week and a half, I think it was, which was pretty good.
Okay.
But now I'm using the Amanatool, and I don't think you can sharpen those because they have that coating on them.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I wouldn't even. I'm trying to even think of an instance where I would say, even if they were able to get sharpened, they're for what kind of bit it is, and the uses that you get out of it. I mean, the 1/4-inch end mills, I think 45, maybe $50.
Yeah,
I mean, that
between
thing
30 and 45 or $50 is
not saying I wouldn't venture to say I would try it, but my thought would be I already got my $50 back 10 times over, and I could definitely spend that again. You don't want to at that time. You want to spend a couple bucks instead of 50, but those bits, I know you use them more than I do, Nick, but those bits last quite some time with that Spectra coating.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I think that I've used them like 3 times the life cycle of a normal bit, like a double fluted down cut, like 1/4-inch, 3 times the life cycle before I have to even think about like, okay, is this thing starting to pull and tear? So,
and that's the beauty of it. I mean, you're spending between say $30 and $50 on a bit. Yeah, it's expensive, but guess what? You already got your money. AJ said it perfect. You got your money back. I mean, if you're using it on a CNC, I mean, I use the same bits. It seems like over and over. Especially now, I kind of have a feel of how I want to carve, and I use a lot of the 1/8 down cut. I have a 1/4-inch down cut that I use here and there for big, basically rough cut stuff out. I use the 30-degree a lot. I use the 60, which is removable blade. So that's what I forget the price for the blade, but it's still a lot cheaper, and I can sharpen it essentially anytime I want. And I do have a 90-degree fixed blade bit that I will have to buy a new bit. But I mean, even that, it's not Spectra at all. And it should last me a good amount of time before I need to worry about replacing it. So, I mean, sending it out for $2 to $3, I don't know if it's worth it in the long run because you're making a lot of money.
No, I'm not talking about the Spectras. I'm talking about your normal, steel bits.
Yeah.
That you'd use.
Yeah, even those. I mean,
would you rather go pay $25 for a new bit? I don't know. I guess I'm just saying it's more economical to get the bits that can be sharpened than it is to go out and buy an entirely new bit. Especially your chamfer bits and all that other stuff, roundovers, all that.
Okay, but what happens if you need that bit when it's gone? How long did it take for it to get sharpened and returned?
I don't know, about a week, but if you have it, you have an extra anyway. I mean, I've rarely run into an issue where it's like, man, I should have kept that roundover in the, even though I had it out for sharpening. It's not going to do me any good keeping it there anyway.
Now, this might sound like a dumb question because I've never seen it advertised except for table saw blades, miter saws. Do they actually have router bits that are do they actually have router bits that are said to be sharpened? Does it say it, or is it kind of just a thing where it's kind of known around the community? Hey, you can sharpen router bits, but not a lot of people do it.
Known around the community.
Okay,
not a lot of people do it. I mean, it's for the price though. It's way more bang for your buck. Now, I don't know anything about super my carbide ultimate trim flush trim bit. I don't know if that can be sharpened.
I don't think that can.
That's just That's like 5 pounds of carbide on a spin. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I'm gonna keep doing it on the bits and I don't use these bits too often anymore because I switched to Amana.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get dull, I'll send them out. Why pay the full price when I can just?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see when the time comes. I mean, like, I haven't ran across it where I needed it. So, I mean, like, I have the, I don't know what brand it is. I got the cheap router bit set when I first began. And I have the good bits I've bought because I use them a lot and I needed something a little bit, heftier. And I just haven't come across the time where I'm like, well, this is getting dull. So, I mean, if anyone out there has experience with it, go ahead and write us. Let us know.
Yeah, shoot us an email at sawdustnationpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
We would.
That's his sponsor voice. And with that, hey, man, talk about sponsors. Why don't we jump into the sponsors?
If you are in the market for a laser system for your CNC machine or even a standalone laser system, check out Jtechphotonics.com. They've got amazing lasers. It doesn't matter which CNC machine you have. They most likely have a kit that is made for that particular machine. So head on over www.jtechphotonics.com. And next up, we have the Orca Abrasives. We want to give them a huge thank you for supporting us. If you go to the Orca Abrasives website, which is located on all 3 of our Instagrams, you can find the links. Use promo code SawdustNation10 for 10% off your order. And last but not least, if you check out Totalboat.com and you're in the market for the epoxy or that varnish or that deep pour, whatever you're looking for, give them a look-see. I want to say they have the best epoxy on the planet. Use promo code SawdustNationPod for 15% off your order. With that being said, who's going to mention how you can get a hold of us?
Well, I mean, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach myself over at Crafted in NJ. You can reach Nick over at NPG Creations. And you can reach Josh over at North Country Woodworking. If you want to reach us all at the same time, hit us up at Sawdust Nation Podcast on Instagram. And if you want to send us questions, you can send it to the Instagram or the email, sawdustnationpodcast@gmail.com. Also, while you're on the interwebs, head over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. And if you don't, check our page. You'll know why you don't want to leave less than 5-star review. And leave a comment. We like comments. We like reviews. 5 stars get us, higher up in the ratings, and then we reach more people, and then we can do bigger and better things with this podcast, and then also give back to our listeners. So, with that, I also
I'm glad you. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're gonna hate what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna let you finish first.
I'm glad you mentioned giving back to our listeners. Because on the 22nd of April, which is not too far away now, if you're in the San Antonio area, head on down to the Woodcraft from 6 to 8 p.m. for the Alamo City Makers Meetup. There's going to be food. There's going to be drink. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. It's going to be an outstanding time. And back to you, AJ.
Hey, before we sign off, I had one last question that we didn't get to, and I need to pick your guys' brain real quick. And it got sent in by a faithful listener of the podcast. Keith over at Blackthorn Concepts really wants to know, and he really, really wants to know, is water wet?
You're fired, Keith.
Hold on. Now I got another one for you.
Oh, man.
Is a fish in water wet, or is he only wet when out of water?
Actually, here's the real answer. The molecules are never really touching, so he's never really wet.
So he has a force field around him?
Technically, yeah. You're never really touching anything. You know what? I think a good person to answer this question might be Tyler from Woodwhiskers Co. And he'll be joining us later this month. And wait, I think last month was next week.
Next week.
Yeah, wow.
Yes, it's
month
next week.
Gone by. Next week. And he can answer this question, and we can just keep going with this and see where it ends up. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, let's save it for him.
Okay, with that, I think we should sign out. Alyssa, Nick, you got something to add?
Just take care of yourselves and each other until next time.
Why so gloomy, man?
Because he's
I don't know, man.
he's confused on the water
I'm-
is wet.
No, I'm just still reeling from this whole cereal is a soup thing.
Hey, I do have one
Oh.
question. I got one question personally, and it might have got sent in by Blackthorn. Why do you drive on a parkway and park in a driveway? Answer.
Yeah.
With that, I'm going to say bye-byes, everybody. Hope everybody makes some sawdust and whatever Josh is going to say now.
Ditto. Anyway, go make some sawdust, get in the shop, go have some fun, get some scars without losing a finger. And,
No, don't get some scars. That's like horrible advice.
well, you're going to get scars regardless.
Scars heal.
Yeah, and they're stories.
Glory fades.
Exactly. With every
And
scar
water
is a
is wet.
story.
There is. But luckily,
Anywho.
Nick is getting a saw stop, and he won't have to worry about that.
Amen.
We'll see. I don't
You guys
know
are
if it's even coming
totally
in.
ruining my outro. Just want to point that out. Anywho, have a great week in Sawdust Nation
In.
out.
Oh.
In. That
All right, we'll
doesn't
see you.
work. Out.
We'll see you next week.
Cereal
out?
and soup
Oh, my
are the
goodness,
same.
guys.
Cereal and soup.
No. He Keith said that cereal is a stew.
Okay.
It's not.
First of all,
You know what? Keith's new name is Stu, all right? That's what we're going to start calling him.
the basic description of both cereal and soup are the same. Liquid with food, and you eat it with a spoon.
I can tell you something else you can eat with a spoon.